Okay, after a long time now we are discussing about the stem cells and tissue regeneration. Okay, so let's see over here first what is the stem cells. Okay, stem cells has the two properties. One property is self-renewal and another property is asymmetric division. Self-renewal means, for example, we have one stem cell. This stem cell, if it divides into two daughter cells, one daughter cell will remain as a stem cell so that the population of the stem cell will maintain. So this is my stem cell, this is a daughter cell. See, this daughter cell is a daughter stem cell so that the number of stem cell will remain always constant. Another one, it undergoes the asymmetric division. That asymmetric division means what? This one cell and this one cell their cytoplasmic division is unequal. This is called asymmetric division. Okay, so the nucleus is divided equally, but the cytoplasm is divided unequally. This one becomes the same daughter stem cell. This is the self-renewal property. That means it renews the number of stem cells. And another cells which proliferates to the distinct cells which is needed, this contains the more cytoplasm, and this is what we call as the asymmetric divisions. What do we call this one? Asymmetric division. So that what we said over here, the stem cell, it has the two properties. One is self-renewal. This is my daughter stem cell. And asymmetric division, the another cell it forms is bigger, larger than this one, which proliferates into the distinct cell. Is that okay? So this is what we call as the what is this one? The stem cell. So the stem cells has two properties. After this, when the stem cell divides, there is the homeostatic equilibrium always. And what is that homeostatic equilibrium? That means the stem cells, one stem cell divides into one daughter stem cell itself. That means number of the stem cells will always remain constant. This is one equilibrium. Another one, it divides into the another daughter cell. This daughter cell proliferates into the the numbers. How many cell has a cell dead, right? So how many cell were dead, it will replace the same number of cells. That's why what we say is that the number of proliferations, the number of self-renewal stem cells, the number of differentiated cells, and then the number of cell death, they will always remain equal. That is what we call as what? The equilibrium. That means what? It is what is it doing? It always maintains the replication. Replication means proliferation. The numbers always remain constant, proliferated numbers. Similarly, it always maintains the self numbers. Number of stem cells also remain constant. Similarly, it equals the number of death cells, so that how many cell death and how many number of cells we need to replace. The stem cells divide and replace the same number of cells, so that if they replace the same number of cells, of course they proliferate the same number of cells. If they proliferate the same number of cells, we said already, it divides into one same stem cells. That means self-renewal property, so that the number of stem cells will be also remain constant. The number of proliferating cells and the number of stem cells will remain the same, and that maintains the same death number of the cells. That's why these three lines of the cells, they always remain constant. That's why this is what we call as the homeostatic equilibrium. Here we have some origin of the stem cells. These stem cells, they originate from the the embryo, and we have the two types of stem cells that we are going to discuss. So these stem cells we can classify into two groups. One is the embryonic stem cells, another one is what? The adult stem cells. Okay, so embryonic stem cells, the embryonic stem cells, they begin from the fusion of the sperm and ovum, so that they forms what? Zygote. So this is the first embryonic stem cells. Okay, so this is my first embryonic stem cell. This embryonic stem cell, now they begin to form the blastocyst, right? So once it forms the blastocyst, this blastocyst has the outer cell mass and then some inner cell mass. So these inner cell mass in the blastocyst, they are the second embryonic stem cells. Is that okay? This inner cell mass, they begin to form the germ layers or germ cells. They are also the embryonic stem cells, and these germ cells, they divide into the ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm, and then these germ layer cells, which divides into the ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. The ectoderm has multiple cell lines, mesoderm has multiple cell lines, endoderm has multiple cell lines. So these all are what? The embryonic stem cells. These embryonic stem cells are some properties. Either they are totipotent or they are multipotent or they are pluripotent. What are those? We will discuss. And another property of these embryonic stem cells are they have limitless regeneration capacity. Limitless regeneration capacity. All right. They can give rise the every cell in the body. Every cell in the body, right? So these are the properties of my embryonic stem cells. We can see this chart we have here. So this is my zygote. So this zygote is my what? Totipotent stem cell. Remember, this is a question in the exam. And we have the totipotent stem cell, means it can give rise all the body cells. That is called totipotent stem cells. And remember, only one totipotent stem cells in our body is what? That is zygote. After that, this is my blastocyst. Blastocyst has the inner cell mass and outer cell mass. This inner cell mass, it forms the pluripotent stem cells. Okay, pluripotent stem cells means it can form the multiple germ layers. Okay, so it can form ectoderm also, it can form the mesoderm also, it can form the endoderm also. Is that okay? So they are called what? Pluripotent stem cells. Pluripotent stem cells means they can form all three germ layers. Is that okay? They are called what? Pluripotent stem cells. The example of the pluripotent stem cells are these are the embryonic stem cells, which are the inner cell mass, plus sometimes we can also induce the pluripotent stem cells whenever we need the regeneration of the tissues in the laboratory. So that we have two types of pluripotent stem cells. Another one, we go to what? Multipotent stem cells. Multipotent stem cells means they can form more than one germ layers. That means they can form maybe ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. Among these three, they can form more than one germ layers. They are called what? Multipotent stem cells. Example of the multipotent stem cells are we have hematopoietic stem cells. Hematopoietic stem cells, they can form all kind of blood cells. Similarly, we have the mesenchymal stem cells. They are also our what? Multipotent stem cells. After that, we have another type over here, that is lineage committed stem cells. Lineage committed stem cells, they are also called oligopotent stem cells. What are they called? They are also called oligopotent stem cells. These oligopotent stem cells, they can form only one the germ layers. That means either they form the ectoderm, or they form the mesoderm, or they form the ectoderm. That is called what? The oligopotent stem cells. And within this one line cells also, they can form very specific cells among them, right? That means they are less capable than the multipotent stem cells. So the example of the oligopotent stem cells are, for example, we have the hematopoietic stem cells as a multipotent stem cells. This multipotent stem cell, hematopoietic cell, divides into the lymphoid line and then the myeloid line, right? So this lymphoid series is oligopotent. This lymphoid series is also oligopotent, right? So that lymphoid hematopoietic stem cells or myeloid hematopoietic stem cells, they are what? Oligopotent stem cells. Plus also we have the neuronal stem cells. They are also the lineage committed or the oligopotent stem cells. After that, we have one more type that is not mentioned over here. This type is unipotent. This type is what? This type is the unipotent or monopotent. Unipotent or monopotent. This unipotent or monopotent stem cells are committed to form only one type of cell specifically. Example, sperm and ovum. That means these are the germ cells. What are those? Germ cells. The germ cells, they appears at the 3rd week of intrauterine life. This is question in the exam. Is that okay? So these are the types of my embryonic stem cells. So this is the chart we have over here, you can see. After that, we have the second type, that is what? Tissue stem cell or the adult stem cell. If you remember, we just divide these stem cells into two types. One is what? Embryonic stem cell. Another one is what? Adult. Adult is also called what? Tissue stem cell. Okay, so that we have two types of stem cells. Among these, just now we discussed about the embryonic stem cells. Now we are going to discuss about the adult or tissue stem cells. These tissue stem cells, they are present in the specific tissue in the specific environment. That is specific environment. This the space where the tissue stem cells are present, that is called the niche. What is this called? Niche. And this niche is protected by the the specific soluble factors, growth factors, soluble factors or the growth factors. And these cells, they do not divide until we need them. For example, we have the injury to the organ. If we have the injury to the organ, then only we need this cells division, then only these cells will be divided. Otherwise, they are protected by the soluble factors in the specific environment in the tissue, that is called what? Niche. All right. So what are the examples of these tissue stem cells? Let's learn the examples. Number one, we have a liver, right? So in the liver, if you know the histology of the liver has the central vein, right? And the central vein is connected to our this portal triad, yes or no? And in this portal triad, what do we have here? We have like this, yes. What is this? This is the sinusoid. And below the sinusoid, we have this space over here. This space is called what? Space of DC. D-I-S-S-I. Space of DC. This space of DC has a specific cell present over here. This cell is called what? Ito cell. This Ito cell is a vitamin A storing cell, as well as it also works as the what is this one called? The stem cells or precursor cells for the hepatocytes. As well as we have the another sinusoid, for example, on this side, yes, another sinusoid. And in between these two sinusoid, we have this space. This space is called what? This space is called the canal of Herring, right? So in this canal of Herring, we have another type of stem cells present over here. This is called the oval cell, right? So this oval cell is also working as a stem cell. So these are the two types of stem cells present in the liver we discussed, yes or no? Another stem cells, they are also present within the brain. Okay, so this is my brain, for example. And my brain has the ventricles, right? So this is my brain ventricles, and brain ventricle is going like this, right? So in the around the brain ventricles we have the stem cells present. So these stem cells, they are responsible for what? The development of the neurons when we have the injuries. So this is the another side, and another side for the stem cells are that the muscles, we have the muscles, and then the muscles has the covering outside. Yes, so this muscle has the covering outside, and within the covering of the muscles, right? So as in the basal lamina, the outer covering of the muscle we have here, right? So in this basal lamina we have a specific cell present over here. This cell is a star-like cell. This cell is called the satellite cell. What is this one? Satellite cell. So this satellite cell is the stem cell of my muscles. Okay, and another stem cell is present within the eye. If you remember, we have a eyeball like this. Yes, this is my eyeball, and within this eyeball, this region is called what? This region is the limbus, and within this limbus we have like this network of the fibers, right? So this fibers network is called the canal of SCHLEM, canal of Schem. This is the site for the the transport of the aqueous humor. So we have some kind of stem cells present within the canal of Schem. So these cells, they are called the limbus cells. What are they called? Limbus cells. So these are also the stem cells. Similarly, within the intestine, if you remember the histology of the intestine, right? I'll just draw the histology of the intestine. The intestinal mucosa, it forms like this, the folding. This folding is called what? The crypts of liver cone, right? So within this crypts of liver cone, at the base of the crypts of the liver cone, it contains the Paneth cells, if you remember, right? PANETS, Paneth cells. So these Paneth cells are also the what is this one? The tissue stem cells, right? So these are the types of tissue stem cells which I discussed, and these tissue stem cells, they regenerate when we have the tissue injury. They are helpful in the renewal of the tissues, right? So this one we discussed right now. We can see, yes, one more thing I didn't explain, that is what hair follicles. In besides the hair follicles, we have the bulge stem cells. We can see over here, this is a bulge stem cells, this is the hair follicle. So this is present within the skin. So we have the stem cells in the skin, we have the skin in the stem cells in the crypts of liver cone, we have the stem cells within the brain, we have the stem cells within the eyes, right? We have the stem cells in the liver. So these stem cells, the name are different, we have to remember. And another point we have here is about the fibroblast. Fibroblast had the self-renewal capacity. It can proliferate, right? But it cannot maintain the number of the fibroblast again. That's why we call this is stem cell like, but this is not the actual stem cells. Okay. And on the basis of this, the presence of the tissue stem cells, the tissue has the different proliferative capacity. According to this proliferative capacity, we divide these tissues into three different types, that is labile tissue, stable tissue, or permanent tissue. So to understand these three types of tissues, we have to see over here the cell cycle. The cell cycle has the resting phase, interphase, and M phase. Resting phase is G0 phase, interphase has the G1, S phase, and G2 phase, and M phase is the mitotic phase. In the mitotic phase, we have different phases, right? The prophase, metaphase, anaphase, right? So these are the different phases in the M phases. And let's see over here. we can see this cell cycle as going like this: mitosis, after that it enters to the G1, after that it goes to S phase, after that G2 phase, again mitosis, again after it goes to the G1, from the G1 some cells goes to the G0 phase. G0 phase means resting phase, right? So let's discuss from here. For example, we have the type A, type B and type C types of tissues or the cells, right? For example, type A cell. Type A cell, after the mitosis, it enters into the G1. From the G1, it goes to G0. And in the G0, it will remain for short period of time. Whenever we need this cells regeneration, right? So they can come back to the G1, and from the G1 they go to S phase, from the S phase they go to G2, and then from the G2 again they go to the mitosis, and again G1, again like this they will circulate. That means some type of cells, for example we say type A cells, they have very short G0. Okay, after that they will enter into the G1. Is that okay? So these types of cells or tissues, they are called the stable tissues or the stable cells. What are they called? Stable tissue or stable cells. They have short G0 phase, and they have the limited capacity to grow because they can divide, but they do not divide always. They rest in the G0 phase, right? So the examples of these tissues or cells are all the solid organs in the body. That means the liver, the renal tubules. Similarly, we have the glands, right? Parenchyma of the glands. Similarly, the numerous mesenchymal tissues like the muscles, the cartilage, right? The connective tissues. Similarly, the endothelium, and then the osteoblast. So these are our what is this one? The stable tissues or the stable cells. And some other types of cells or the tissues, they remain, for example B types. So these B types are what types? These B types are, they enter into mitosis, after that they go to G1, from G1 immediately go to S to G2, G2 to mitosis. They never go to G0. That means type B cells, they do not enter to G0. That means they never rest. They are continuously dividing. So those cells which are continuously dividing, they are also called what? The labile or continuously dividing cells or tissues. Is that okay? So this kind of tissues, if they injure, there is a very rapid healing occurs. If this kind of tissues are injured. Okay. They divide very rapidly, and then they have very short G1. So what are the examples? The examples are, you can see the bone marrow. Similarly, the GIT, gastrointestinal tract, and gastrourinary tract epithelium, lining epitheliums of these tracts, because they are very rapidly dividing and replacing. Similarly, the skin linings. Is that okay? Similarly, the oral cavity linings, they are continuously dividing. So this type of cells, they are called what? the continuously dividing or labile cells or the tissues. The first type A was what? Type A was stable had short G0. Type B is what? Labile has no G0, but it has short G1. And this cell is what? This is also the A, or the labile what is this one? Stable cells. They are also called the quiescent, Quiescent, quiescent cells. They are also called what? Quiescent cells. So remember this one. And then now we have the type C cells. What are those type C cells means? The type C cells means, look at here, once they divide into mitosis, they reach to G1. From G1 they go to G0, and then they always remain within the gene, they never back to G1. If they never back to G1, they never go to S phase, they never go to G2, they never go to mitosis. That means they are non-dividing cells. They are what? Non-dividing cells. They are called the permanent cells or permanent tissues. Permanent cells or tissues. Okay, so they always remain in G0 phase. They always resting. They are always resting. So they have no regeneration power. No regeneration power. Okay, if they have no regeneration power, they have to regenerate by using the tissue stem cells. Is that okay? So that if they are injured, they heal by fibrosis. Fibrosis means by the fibroblast. Fibroblast. In the other tissues, if it is in the brain, they will heal by gliosis. Gliosis means the glial cells, they proliferate within the brain or the nervous tissues. Is that okay? So that these cells are what? The permanent cells. Example of these cells, for example, is what? Neurons. You can see the RBC, right? You can see the skeletal muscle. Similarly, you can see the cardiac muscles, right? So they undergoes what? Fibrosis or gliosis. If it is the nervous system, gliosis. If it is other, then it undergoes what? Fibrosis. So these are what? Permanent tissues or permanent cells. So if you understand the stem cells and then the types of tissues according to their regeneration, right? So thank you very much. Keep watching.